Hello, this is Sam Rosenthal, and this is my presentation for my project plan. Okay, so what I plan on doing with this project is I'm planning on completing some of the 3D environments that I started way back in my time studying animation and concept development at Madison Area Technical College in downtown Madison a long while back. I decided to do this project after I won an honorable mention award at the 2019 MAGD Expo for my ancient Egypt style 3D modeled room, as you can see right here. And looking back at it, I kind of felt that my 3D modeling skills have been improving over the years, ever since I started studying it in MATC, and I thought. Well, if I can make ancient Egyptian room, why not finish some of the other sets that I started but never got around to finishing back at MATC? So I decided to further do that so I can further show the animation and gaming industry is what I was capable of making. So, what are these models, you may ask? Well, the 3D models I mainly worked on consisted of places one would find in a city, such as a hotel, a dining room, an apartment, and an arcade. And initially, I was going to have them be a continuation of a 3D modeling project I did back at MATC, where I modeled a 1950s style diner, as seen in the image below. But I kind of ran out of time, and I never got around to finishing those models. But now I've managed to finally have an excuse to do so. Thankfully, I managed to get pretty far in the modeling process for most of these environments. I mean, since I already modeled approximately two-thirds of the assets I needed for all of them, but I kind of still have some work left to do on them. Not only would I still need to model multiple props for the sets, I would also have to UV rip most of them, which is painfully long, texture them, and arrange them properly in the scene. And because of how tedious the modeling process can be, I will focus on modeling the hotel and the dining room sets, which will look similar to the reference images below. So, if I manage to complete the hotel and the dining room faster than I had anticipated, I might consider working on the apartment. That set piece still needs many props made for it, though. The TV and the record player below are just two examples of it. And I also would have to UV rip and texture a good chunk of it, which I'm still kind of behind on that. But between that set and the arcade, I think the apartment would be a lot faster to make. Not to mention, well, I would worry a lot less about copyright infringement for the arcade. Aside from the aforementioned modeling, UV ripping, and texturing, I will then need to render the completed sets with a sufficient renderer, possibly Arnold, and post the rendered images on the appropriate pages on my portfolio website, which is samrosenthalanimation.com. I'm using WordPress. You can see a early version of it in the image below. And speaking of which, I may also need to start updating said portfolio website so that it can make my environment models appear much more presentable to potential players. Because as you can see, also see in the image below, it does look a little amateurish, to say the least. Okay, so this is my current work schedule for this project. I might make a few adjustments along the way, but so as you can see, I have a pretty. I am going to be pretty busy since I'm the only one working on this thing. So for week of April 20, I will have to revise parts of the cover letters and resumes since they're due first, and then on the next week I would have to work on the textures and materials for the models. Like I focus mainly figure out how to make the glass and emission materials for both the models. And then on the week of May 4th, I would have to work on the rendering of the models, as well as make some modifications to the portfolio website. And finally, on the week of the final, I would have to add the renders to the portfolio and then make a few final modifications and then prepare myself for the final presentation. Last but not least, here are just a couple of previews of my two models that I'm currently working on. This is what I've managed to get done so far with them. This is just renders of some their simple geometry and in the wireframe, and just to have something to show while I'm still working on the textures. Yeah, so I just need to make out these textures and do the final renderings, and then I'll be good to go with these.